Hello again. The more that we learn of the scandalous association between Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein, the more it takes on the appearance of the worst kind of anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Because guess who have now popped up as characters in the saga? None other than the Rothschilds. A dreadful murky story involving two shady Jews, and enter stage left the Rothschilds. It is the kind of thing one really could not make up. When we saw the police entering Mandelson's London home the other day to execute a search warrant, that was an interesting sight in itself. He lives in a house near Regent's Park, which is worth over £7 million. There have long been questions about how on earth he could afford to buy such a place and where the money came from to pay for it. It was mentioned casually at the time in the news that he has another home in Wiltshire, which the police were also searching. Then it came to light that this property is actually owned by Nathaniel Rothschild and that he rents it out to Peter Mandelson. This is simply weird. What is the connection between Mandelson and the Rothschilds? Apart, that is, from the obvious one of ethnicity. Well, the Financial Times carried a long article the other day with the headline, How the House of Rothschild Became Entangled with Epstein. It seems that at least one branch of the Rothschild family were very involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Of course they were. Whether this accounts for their renting Peter Mandelson a farmhouse, I could not say. Bear in mind that these Rothschild connections are not being touted by dubious websites belonging to conspiracy theorists, but rather by newspapers like the Financial Times. I think that puts them in something of a different league, really. The longer this affair drags on, the more that such connections are being brought to light. In the last few days, we have learned of Jeffrey Epstein being a close chum of Noam Chomsky, and they're having dinner with Woody Allen. And now we find the Rothschilds putting in an appearance and renting a house to Peter Mandelson. Seriously, the whole business is coming to resemble exactly the sort of convoluted and improbable yarn dreamt up by the kind of people who treat the protocols of the Elders of Zion as being gospel truth. I admit that I have in the past laughed at seeing the name of the Rothschild pop up everywhere, from accounts of the Battle of Waterloo to the machinations of the Bank of England. But these latest developments seem to be no more than sober fact, which really makes one start wondering what it's all about.